What's up, everyone? I'm the devastating Just Cause, and this is DJC Game Studios. Welcome to the show. I am using a newer microphone. Looks like this. Testing, look at me, I'm on old-timey radio. That looks like a giant snowball. That's what it's called, the blue snowball. So, hopefully this will stop, because I used to have this. Can't see it because it's way up there, out of frame, purposely, attached to my ceiling. So the boom mic is no longer. But anyways, then if I want to get up close and personal, I can be like, hello, hi. That's not what we're going to do here, though, because I always stand for some reason. So, without further ado, everybody says that in every channel. Isn't that crazy? We are going to get into something I should have been talking about a long time ago, which I did, but before I talk about it, Evercade. So, I have a lot of collections on order that have been back-ordered or have been delayed, which, hey, I understand, not a problem. But Evercade, I pre-ordered my Intellivision Collection last year. I don't even remember when that came out. What, August, September, October? I can't remember. And it was supposed to ship out, I think, around Christmas. Never showed, and it got delayed to like January, and then it got delayed to February. Now I'm not getting it till March. So I haven't even done the Collection 1 review, which I was really, like, people that got their verses, their founders' verses, they got it first. So many people have done reviews on it. So I'm still waiting to get it. But in the meantime, just recently, I think a couple days ago or so, hey, you know me, I'm fourth-hand news, but I just found out they're doing a Collection number 2 for Intellivision. I even got this Collection 1, and they're already talking about Collection 2. Well, I am going to pre-order that, too. And no matter how long it takes to get to me, I'm going to get that one, too. So without further ado, and that one, too, boy, I'm a rhymer. That sounded really lame. Sorry. Anyways, let's talk about this Collection 2. First off, we have Vectron. Why? Alright, Vectron, you build bases with a square, and you have these little balls that are like the bases, and then these little nasties from Tempest, it looks like, and some rolling cylinders try to attack you, and let's just move on. I'm not a fan of Vectron. Now, Reversey. Reversey is like a board game, kind of like a... Is that a game called like Othello or something like that? Or there's a couple different things that's like the black and white round kind of tokens or round. Look like sprees, to be honest. You're playing with a bunch of sprees. And I wouldn't eat them because you'd probably choke on them. But Reversey, not interested, but it's there. It looks sort of... Maybe I'll try it when it's on there. I'll do a review on it, but let's move on. Now some good ones. Tower of Doom. Tower of Doom was a really good one where it kind of reminds me of like Dungeons and Dragons when you went through like the caverns. They'd appear as you went through. This one a little different. I remember playing this back in the day. It had some cooler graphics, and then when you came up to like a beast or a rat or a flying anteater or whatever those things are, you were able to do battle in like real time, like a real hack and slash. And then I remember the skeletons you would hit, and they would counter with their sword. It was, anyways, really cool game. I definitely remember having this. I borrowed it from a friend back in the day, and then I ended up getting it after that. But that's a top-notch one they got there. And then, of course, you have the infamous Cloudy Mountain, the original Dungeons and Dragons. So this was one that I played. There's another one I actually borrowed from a friend from school. He's like, it was funny because at the time Nintendo was hitting big, and I was still playing like Armor Battle. I mean, I had a Nintendo too, but like I always had my Intellivision on. So at the time I was Demon Attack and Armor Battle were like my favorites, and my buddy's like, "Can I borrow that Demon Attack and the Tank Battle game?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, I have Dungeons and Dragons," so he loaned me like a loincloth. No, he loaned me a Cloudy Mountain, and that was my first time at it, and I was like, oh my god, this is like a full adventure, like, because I was like, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons, it's for nerds, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm a nerd. So anyways, that's how I fell in love with that one, but great choice, great to see that. Then you got a couple weird ones, which was, I don't say weird, it's just ones that never standed out to me, little newer ones. Stadium Mud Buggies. Stadium Mud Buggies, graphically a little blocky, but hey, it was Intellivision. But I'll tell you what, the scrolling on that is really good. It's like an Intellivision versions. If you took like an Excite Bike and RC Pro-Am and kind of smashed them into an Intellivision graphical version of these monster trucks. Pretty sweet looking, actually. I cannot wait to actually play this because I've touched it here and there on the collections and stuff like that, like the one for Xbox, but I can't wait to get into this one and review that one. They also have like a pole where they put a chain between two monster trucks and you're pulling up in the mud, and I thought that was kind of neat. A lot of different events. And then you got Motocross, which was basically the dirt biking game for Intellivision. One I never really got too much into. I do own. It was one that was a little rarer to find. Not really, but paid a few extra dollars for it, but I got one. But yeah, I can't wait to actually try this and see how they do the controls on that. And then you got another later release, Super Pro Decathlon. Now, this is actually a fun game. It's kind of like track and field. I loved track and field as the stand-up arcade, where you had to have the two buttons to go like that, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, to run, you're going to have to kind of do one of these. Maybe, unless they did it with buttons. But I'm interested in the controls on that as well. But the only thing that I'm hoping that you don't have to use the keypad on a lot of stuff, which, I'm hoping they integrated. You got 2 buttons here. You got, 4 buttons here. I'm just hoping somehow they integrated a lot of the pickups and stuff like that, so like for Cloudy Mountain and other games with that. And then you got a big hit, space hit, Star Strike. Star Strike, where you have to basically do the Star Wars X-Wing flying run. And then, but you got, every time the little bombs come up, the little targets, you have to bomb those targets. And as you bomb, everything shakes. And eventually when you bomb everything, the whole base gets destroyed. Meanwhile, you shoot ships and do different things. And I did notice some keypad stuff being used in here. They have the little keypad off to the left. I don't know if I'm too big on that to where there's so many other buttons. When you're only using a fire button in disc for Star Strike, I think a lot more buttons can be assigned on the actual front of this or on the top. I don't know, just my thoughts. We'll see how that turns out. Another later release, Hover Force. Now, I remember buying Hover Force from Hover Force. And I bought that from a Radio Shack catalog when I lived in California. They had a bunch of backstock of Intellivision. Could you believe that? Imagine if all the spikers I could have bought and paid off my house. But I didn't, because we didn't know they'd be worth $1 million. So, anyways, so Hover Force was kind of this helicopter. Like you looked out the bottom of the helicopter and you shot different copters. For the time, the graphics looked pretty cool. I always thought the graphics were impressive. Is it my favorite game? Not completely, but definitely a cool looking game for the time. And then we get into one of my favorites I had growing up, and maybe it's because I had it growing up, and that is auto racing. Now this is a challenging racing game where you gotta time your turns, you gotta steer with that dial. Wait, D-pad? I guess we'll be steering with a D-pad. So that's the only downfall is on the Intellivision you could use that disc as kind of like a steering wheel, which at least how I used to use it. So that's going to be a little interesting to see how that's going to function on this with just a D-pad. But still, great game. I used to love the head-to-head where you keep crashing into each other and knock each other off the road. Go off the track and find the other track, because there was this huge map of the tracks that intertwined and connected, and there were some secret drag strips and stuff you could go and race. So I always thought that was fun, but auto racing can't wait. And then you got skiing. Super Pro Skiing, Mountain Madness, which was just kind of an upgraded version of the original Intellivision skiing. And that, my friends, is... my friends, is... blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But that one looks really fun. I'll have to definitely do a good review on that. Now, I don't have that. That's one of the Super Pro besides Spiker that I'm missing from my original 125. But that I cannot wait to check out. And then... of course, we have I think it's the 3-in-1 Sharpshot, which I actually have the original Sharpshot right here. So you have you have a pass to the receiver football game where you're throwing a football and try to catch it. And then you could get a 2-player double space battle shooting aliens. And then you have like a sea battle, sink the Navy ships. And then you have this Cloudy Mountain arrow shooting game that's like in a maze. So Sharpshot, 3 games in 1. So that's kind of neat. So I mean, I guess it makes sense, because I was going to say, you know how BiPlanes was turned into... Oh, no, that's not a good place to put it. I have to talk. So BiPlanes was like made for the Amico as a single game, but that came off of Triple Action. So I don't know, I was kind of... It would have been kind of cool if they separated all the games, but I guess it doesn't really matter, because when you log into it, it's just going to have 3 games on the one, collection thing, or however that works. I don't know, I'm babbling on, but I cannot wait to pre-order the Evercade Collection, Intellivision Collection number 2. I just need to get this Intellivision Collection 1, so hopefully it arrives soon. It says it's arriving this week sometime. Well, we'll see. Until then, yeah. Oh, I've also got some more, I also got an arcade collection of the Data East collection. So I got the arcade versions of a lot of Data East games. I'm also looking at the Morph Cat collection, the Indie Heroes collection, because right now I've only got 6 cards. Well, I'll have 8 in the next week or 2 when these other ones come in. And then I'm ordering collection number 2 for Intellivision. But I do want to get the first Namco, which is really hard to get right now. I got the second one, believe it or not. And I paid like $40 for it, because it's just they're going out of print or something because of the licensing. Can be played on this, but can't be played on that type of thing. But anyways, I am stoked for collection number 2 on Intellivision. But what did I miss, and what do I wish was still on there? I'm gonna say bowling, Intellivision bowling. I really wish bowling was on there. And one of the golf games, like Chip Shot Super Pro Golf, would have been a perfect golf game, or the original golf. But Chip Shot to me was like a really cool golf game, and it was more disc and pressing enter than anything. I don't see why that couldn't be initiated in this. There wasn't a lot of keypad stuff, other than the selection, like how many players, skill level. Like that's in a lot of Intellivision games where you use that little side, keypad. But I just wish bowling and Chip Shot would have made it on there. Hopefully, I can wish for collection 3 to have that on there, as well as maybe some. I don't know. There's so many that I really like, but maybe next ones will have like Treasure of Tarman or Minotaur, whatever they want to call it now. Maybe some more, like Tale of Dragons and Swords would be amazing. Lost Caves of Kraws would be amazing. Oregon Bound would be amazing. I think you can get away with that one. But there's a lot of homebrews I'd really like to see. Maybe a homebrew collection on the Evercade from Intellivision. Just saying. Well, I've babbled long enough. It's probably about 15 minutes. Wow, this is a long video. But I get excited when I'm talking about the Intellivision. And Evercade. Starting to step up my Evercade game. I got more on order. Some more crazy stuff on order. I also want to get that Tanglewood Xenocrisis. And they're selling those in bundles with another game now. So it's kind of a good deal for like $40. You get... I think it's under $40 actually. You get 2 Evercade cartridges. So I'm gonna try to look into more of that. But anyways, let me know what you think of this Intellivision Collection 2 and the selections they went with. What would you like to see on that? Let me know. And please please subscribe, and gosh darn it all to heck, please subscribe. Oh, and we'll see you in the next one. What do I do with this? What do I do with my hands? I just hold these up like this. Gonna put the Sharpshot back on the shelf. Putting it on the shelf. Sharpshot. Why can't I see to get in the... Why is this in my hand?
Hello. I'm back.